Success doesn't arrive in a single moment. It doesn't come from one lucky break, one big opportunity, or one grand decision. It is the product of small, repeated actions, disciplines practiced day after day, week after week, until they accumulate into something significant. The problem is that most people overlook the small things. They think success is about giant leaps, when in reality, it's about steady, consistent steps. Imagine a stonecutter hammering away at a rock. He might strike it 100 times with no visible impact. Then, on the 101st strike, the rock splits in two. Now, was it that single strike that caused the break? No. It was the consistent pressure, the repeated action, the daily discipline that led to the breakthrough. The same is true in life. The results may not appear instantly, but small disciplines create an invisible force, and over time they build momentum that leads to massive change. Think about anyone you admire, anyone who has achieved greatness in any field, whether in business, sports, personal development, or relationships. Their success wasn't the result of one big move. It was the culmination of hundreds, even thousands, of small disciplines practiced consistently over time. The problem is that most people only see the end result. They see the championship win, the best-selling book, the successful business, the fit and healthy body, but they don't see the years of discipline that went into creating those results. Take an athlete, for example. The world sees them lifting a trophy, standing on a podium, celebrating victory. What they don't see is the 4 a.m. training sessions, the grueling workouts, the disciplined diet, the relentless commitment to improvement. It's the small disciplines, waking up early, stretching every morning, doing an extra set of reps, refining their technique, that make the difference over time. Without those, the trophy never happens. And the same applies to business. No one builds a multi-million-dollar company overnight. It starts with small habits. Making one more phone call, sending one more email, reading one more book, testing one more strategy. Those little efforts compound. Every day that an entrepreneur shows up, disciplines themselves to take action, and refuses to cut corners, they are laying another brick in the foundation of their future success. The truth is, success is built on habits, not luck. Small disciplines are what separate those who thrive from those who struggle. Consider the difference between two people, one who follows small, positive habits every day and one who ignores them. In the beginning, the difference between them is almost invisible. On day 1, you won't notice a change. On day 10, maybe still nothing obvious. But by day 100, by day 500, by year 5, the gap is enormous. The one who practiced daily disciplines has transformed their life, while the other has remained in the same place, or worse, has declined. Think about something as simple as reading 10 pages of a book every day. It doesn't seem like much. In one day, it won't change your life. In 1 week, it may not even feel significant. But over the course of a year, that's 3,650 pages, enough to read 12, 15 books. Now imagine someone who never picks up a book, never learns new ideas, never improves their thinking. Over time, the difference is staggering. One person grows, expands their mind, gains new insights, and moves forward. The other stays stagnant. The same principle applies to health. A person who exercises for 30 minutes a day won't see results immediately. But if they stay disciplined, day after day, month after month, their body will transform. Meanwhile, someone who neglects exercise may not see the damage right away, but over time, their health declines. Small habits shape our destiny. Discipline is what keeps you on track even when you don't see immediate rewards. That's why so many people fail. They start a new habit, a new goal, a new plan, but because they don't see instant results, they quit. They go to the gym for a week, don't see major changes, and stop. They start reading, don't feel smarter after a few days, and abandon the habit. They invest time in a business idea, don't see immediate profits, and give up. But success is a game of patience. It rewards those who stay consistent even when they don't see instant gratification. Discipline means doing the small things even when no one is watching. It's easy to make a big effort when there's motivation, excitement, or external pressure, but true success comes from doing what needs to be done every single day, even when you don't feel like it. It's waking up early to work on your goals when no one is there to push you. It's saying no to distractions when no one would blame you for taking a break. It's choosing growth over comfort, discipline over laziness, action over excuses. Success isn't about motivation. Motivation is temporary. It comes and goes. Some days you'll feel inspired and ready to take action. Other days, you won't. The difference between those who achieve greatness and those who don't is that the successful ones rely on discipline, not motivation. They don't wait to feel like it. They do it anyway. Small disciplines may seem insignificant in the moment, but they shape your future. Every decision you make, every habit you develop, every small action you take is either moving you closer to your goals or pulling you further away. That's the reality. There's no neutral ground. The tiny decisions you make each day are building your future, whether you realize it or not. It's the extra 10 minutes of effort. It's the daily learning. It's the commitment to show up. It's the decision to keep going when it would be easier to stop. It's saying yes to growth and no to excuses. Every small discipline adds up. Every small step moves you forward. Every small choice compounds. And over time, those little things become the big things that shape your destiny. Life doesn't get better by chance. It gets better by change. And that change must begin with you. People spend years waiting for circumstances to improve, for luck to turn in their favor, for the right opportunity to appear. But life doesn't work that way. It's not the world that must change first. It's you, your thoughts, your habits, your attitude, your actions. These are the forces that shape your future. The moment you change, everything else begins to shift. Most people want a better life, but they don't want to change themselves. They wish for success, but keep the same habits that hold them back. They hope for financial freedom, but refuse to learn new skills or take risks. They dream of better relationships, but continue with the same old behaviors that create conflict. The truth is, your external world is simply a reflection of your internal world. If you don't change, nothing changes. If you want a new result, you must become a new person. Take a look at people who have transformed their lives. The change always starts within. It starts with a shift in mindset, a commitment to new habits, a willingness to let go of what no longer serves them. The moment they decide to think differently, act differently, and live differently, their entire world begins to transform. The job they wanted appears, the relationships improve, the opportunities arise, not because the world suddenly became easier, but because they became better. Change is uncomfortable. That's why so many people avoid it. They would rather stay in the familiar, even if the familiar is painful, frustrating, and unfulfilling. They would rather complain about their circumstances than take action to change them. But here's the reality. Nothing great happens in the comfort zone. Growth requires discomfort. Success requires stretching beyond what feels easy and safe. One of the most powerful ways to change yourself is by changing your daily habits. Your life is simply the result of what you do every day. If you wake up late, scroll through social media mindlessly, procrastinate on important tasks, and avoid challenges, your life will reflect those choices. But if you wake up early, read, exercise, set goals, and take action, your life will take on a completely different direction. It's not about making one massive change overnight. That's not how transformation works. It's about making small, intentional changes every day. Reading a few pages of a book, making one better decision about food, having one productive conversation, taking one step toward a goal. Over time, these small changes add up, and before you know it, your entire life has shifted. The challenge is that most people want results without the effort. They want to be fit without changing their diet. They want to be successful without developing discipline. They want happiness without changing their mindset. But nothing works that way. Everything you desire comes from who you become. Think about people who have drastically changed their lives. Maybe they went from broke to financially secure, from unhealthy to vibrant, from stuck to thriving. The external results were just a reflection of the internal changes they made. They didn't just wish for a better life, they became a better version of themselves. So if you're waiting for the perfect time, the perfect opportunity, or the perfect circumstances, stop. The only thing that needs to change is you. The moment you decide to grow, take action, and commit to becoming better, your entire life will follow. Imagine a person who wants to get in shape. They can talk about it, think about it, and plan for it, but unless they actually change their daily habits, exercising, eating better, prioritizing sleep, nothing will improve. They might say, I just need the right gym, the right trainer, the right time. But the truth is, they need to change themselves first. They need to become the type of person who exercises consistently, who values their health, who makes fitness a priority. Once that shift happens, their body begins to transform. The same is true for success in any area of life. You must become the kind of person who attracts the results you desire. If you want wealth, you must think and act like a person who builds wealth. If you want happiness, you must think and act like a person who creates joy. If you want confidence, you must think and act like a confident person. But change is not always easy. It requires self-awareness, the ability to recognize what's holding you back. It requires honesty, the willingness to admit that you need to grow. And most of all, it requires discipline, the commitment to take action even when it's hard. One of the biggest obstacles to change is the belief that external circumstances are responsible for our lives. People say, I'll be happy when I get a better job, or I'll be successful when the economy improves, or I'll be motivated when I have more time. These are all excuses. The truth is, life doesn't change first, you do. When you take control of your actions, your mindset, and your habits, you stop waiting for life to get better and start making it better. Consider the difference between two people who face the same setback, say losing a job. One person sees it as a tragedy, a sign that life is unfair, and they sink into frustration, blaming circumstances. The other person sees it as an opportunity to learn, grow, and pivot to something better. Same event, different reactions. What makes the difference? Mindset. The first person waits for life to improve. The second person improves themselves, and because of that, their life improves. Your relationships also change when you do. If you're struggling with friendships, family, or a romantic partner, the first instinct is often to wish that they would change. If only they would listen more. If only they would be more supportive. If only they would understand me better. But the truth is, relationships improve when you improve. When you become a better communicator, people listen more. When you show more kindness, people respond with warmth. When you become more self-assured, people respect you more. Instead of waiting for others to change, focus on changing yourself. Another key to transformation is environment. If you surround yourself with people who complain, doubt, and stay stuck in negativity, it will be difficult for you to grow. But if you choose to be around people who are ambitious, disciplined, and optimistic, their mindset will influence you. This is why successful people surround themselves with other successful people. Growth happens in the right environment. One of the most powerful ways to change yourself is by changing your daily habits. Your life is simply the result of what you do every day. If you wake up late, scroll through social media mindlessly, procrastinate on important tasks, and avoid challenges, your life will reflect those choices. But if you wake up early, read, exercise, set goals, and take action, your life will take on a completely different direction. It's not about making one massive change overnight. That's not how transformation works. It's about making small, intentional changes every day. Reading a few pages of a book, making one better decision about food, having one productive conversation, taking one step toward a goal. Over time, these small changes add up, and before you know it, your entire life has shifted. The challenge is that most people want results without the effort. They want to be fit without changing their diet. They want to be successful without developing discipline. They want happiness without changing their mindset. But nothing works that way. Everything you desire comes from who you become. Think about people who have drastically changed their lives. Maybe they went from broke to financially secure, from unhealthy to vibrant, from stuck to thriving. The external results were just a reflection of the internal changes they made. They didn't just wish for a better life, they became a better version of themselves. So if you're waiting for the perfect time, the perfect opportunity, or the perfect circumstances, stop. The only thing that needs to change is you. The moment you decide to grow, take action, and commit to becoming better, your entire life will follow. Success doesn't disappear overnight. It fades away gradually, slipping through the cracks of neglect. When people fail, it's rarely because of a sudden catastrophe. It happens slowly, silently, through small decisions that seem insignificant in the moment but accumulate over time. Neglect is the silent destroyer of dreams, the unseen force that holds people back from reaching their full potential. The greatest mistake people make is believing that progress is automatic, that as long as they go through life, things will naturally improve. But life doesn't work that way. If you don't actively move forward, you don't just stay in place. You begin to decline. Neglect is not neutral. It's a force that pulls you backward, whether in your health, relationships, career, or personal development. The moment you stop paying attention to growth, decline begins. Consider your health. No one wakes up one morning suddenly out of shape. Weight gain, loss of strength, and poor health are not the result of one bad meal or skipping the gym once. They happen gradually. A person neglects their diet here and there, chooses convenience over discipline, misses one workout, then another. Before they realize it, months or years have passed, and they find themselves far from where they wanted to be. The body they once took pride in is now a source of discomfort, and all because of small acts of neglect that compounded over time. Neglect is deceptive. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't scream for attention. It creeps in quietly. A missed deadline here, an ignored responsibility there, a promise to do better tomorrow. But tomorrow turns into next week turns into next month, and before long an entire year has passed without progress. People look back and wonder, how did I get here? The answer is always the same. It's not the big failures that ruin us. It's the small moments of neglect that seem harmless in isolation but become disastrous in accumulation. A business doesn't collapse overnight. It falls apart because the owner neglected to adapt, neglected customer service, neglected innovation. A marriage doesn't crumble in one day. It deteriorates because small acts of care and appreciation were neglected over time. A dream doesn't die in a single moment. It fades away because it was neglected in favor of distractions, excuses, and procrastination. Neglect has a simple formula. Ignore something long enough and it deteriorates. This applies to every area of life. Take finances, for example. No one wakes up one morning drowning in debt because of a single bad purchase. It starts with small decisions. Overspending here, ignoring a budget there, putting off saving for another month. Slowly, bad financial habits take root. Neglecting to manage money today results in financial stress tomorrow. A person may say it's just a small expense, but repeated small expenses add up. What seemed manageable becomes overwhelming. The same applies to personal growth. A person who stops learning, stops reading, stops investing in themselves, may not notice the decline immediately, but over time their mind becomes stagnant. They wonder why they feel stuck, why opportunities seem scarce, why life feels repetitive. It's because growth was neglected. Learning is like sharpening a blade. If you don't do it consistently, the blade dulls. If you neglect sharpening your mind, you lose the ability to think critically, solve problems, and seize new opportunities. Neglect is comfortable. That's why so many people fall into it. Growth requires effort, attention, and discipline. Neglect requires nothing. It's easy to put things off, to delay, to ignore the uncomfortable truths that demand action. It's easy to say, I'll start tomorrow. But tomorrow turns into next year, and before long the opportunity is gone. Neglect also has a way of multiplying. When one area of life is neglected, it often spills over into other areas. A person who neglects their health may find that their energy decreases, making it harder to perform well at work. A person who neglects discipline in finances may find themselves neglecting discipline in other habits. One bad habit creates a domino effect, making it easier to justify more neglect in other areas. But the most dangerous part of neglect is that it feels harmless in the beginning. Missing one workout doesn't feel like a big deal. Skipping one productive day doesn't seem like a problem. Ignoring one responsibility doesn't seem urgent. But the effects of neglect are not immediate, they are cumulative. By the time the damage is visible, it's already too late to undo it easily. Think about a building left abandoned. At first, it still looks intact. But as time passes, the neglect becomes obvious. The walls crack, the roof weakens, the foundation starts to crumble. It didn't collapse all at once, it was the result of consistent neglect over time. The same principle applies to life. If you neglect your responsibilities, your ambitions, your personal development, or your relationships, they will slowly deteriorate until the damage is beyond repair. Neglect is also a mindset. It starts with small excuses. I don't feel like it today. One day won't make a difference. I'm too busy. These thoughts seem harmless, but they reinforce a habit of avoidance. The more a person justifies neglect, the more it becomes a part of their identity. Eventually, they become someone who accepts mediocrity, who procrastinates on important things, who allows their potential to wither away. Success demands the opposite of neglect. It requires attention, consistency, and persistence. The most successful people in the world are not those who never fail. They are those who refuse to neglect the things that matter. They show up every day. They put in the effort even when they don't feel like it. They take care of their health, nurture their relationships, sharpen their skills, and manage their responsibilities with discipline. If you look at any great achievement, you'll find that it wasn't built on luck or talent alone. It was built on small daily efforts that were never neglected. The athlete who becomes a champion didn't neglect training. The entrepreneur who builds a thriving business didn't neglect the details. The author who writes a best-selling book didn't neglect their craft. Neglect is easy, but it is also destructive. It is the reason why people look back on their lives with regret, wondering why they never reached their full potential. It is the reason why dreams fade, why opportunities disappear, why progress halts. Every moment of neglect pushes a person further away from the life they could have had. Neglect may seem small in the beginning, but its consequences are always significant. Change does not have to take years. It does not require waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect opportunity. In just 30 days, a person can transform their mindset, habits, and results in ways they never thought possible. The difference between where someone is today and where they could be a month from now is determined by one thing: commitment. Most people underestimate what they can accomplish in 30 days. They think real change takes too long, so they never start. They assume that success is only for those who have been working for years, so they remain stuck. But the truth is, a single month of focused effort can create momentum that alters the course of an entire life. 30 days of discipline can set a person on a path they never imagined. Success is simply a series of small, consistent actions repeated over time. The reason most people don't see results is not because they lack intelligence, talent, or resources. It's because they don't stick with something long enough to see the effects compound. They start and stop, get excited and lose motivation, try for a few days and then give up, when results don't appear instantly. But if someone truly dedicates themselves for just 30 days, they will see undeniable proof that change is possible. Think about what happens when someone decides to change their health. If they commit to 30 days of exercising consistently, even if it's just a few minutes a day, their body begins to respond. They get stronger, their energy increases, their confidence grows. If they also improve their eating habits, cutting out processed food, drinking more water, eating more whole foods, the difference is even more dramatic. In just 1 month, their body starts transforming. It may not be a complete transformation, But the progress is clear. The foundation for long-term success has been laid and the momentum carries forward. The same applies to any area of life. If someone spends 30 days waking up early, prioritizing their goals, and eliminating distractions, they will become a completely different person than they were a month ago. If they dedicate 30 days to learning a new skill, reading books, taking online courses, practicing daily, they will have made more progress than most people make in an entire year of inconsistency. The reason 30 days is so powerful is that it is long enough to create real results, but short enough to feel achievable. A full year of change might feel overwhelming, but 30 days, that feels possible, that feels manageable. And once those 30 days are completed, momentum makes it easier to continue. The key is commitment. Most people fail because they only commit halfway. They say they want to change, but they leave room for excuses. They tell themselves, "I'll try," instead of "I will." They make exceptions for bad habits, skipping a day here and there, telling themselves they'll make up for it later. But true transformation requires 30 days of absolute commitment. No breaks, no excuses, no negotiating with old habits. Imagine if someone decided right now that for the next 30 days they would follow through on a goal with complete discipline. No distractions, no procrastination, no letting emotions dictate their actions. What could they accomplish? A person who struggles with time management could transform their productivity in 30 days by structuring their schedule, eliminating distractions, and focusing on their highest priorities. Someone who lacks confidence could become a completely different version of themselves in 30 days by practicing self-discipline, challenging negative thoughts, and stepping outside their comfort zone daily. A person who wants to improve their finances could see a significant difference in 30 days by tracking their spending, creating a budget, and finding ways to increase their income. The power of 30 days is not just in the external results. It's in the identity shift. When someone proves to themselves that they can stay committed, they no longer see themselves as someone who quits easily. They develop self-respect. They build momentum. They realize that they are capable of more than they thought. Most people never experience this because they give up too soon. They start something new, but when motivation fades, they stop. They expect instant results, and when they don't see them, they assume it's not working. But success is not immediate. It is the result of small, consistent actions. The first few days of any change are the hardest. The old habits fight back. The mind resists. The temptation to quit appears. But if someone pushes through those first few days and stays disciplined, something incredible happens. The resistance fades. The new habits become easier. The mind adjusts. What once felt difficult begins to feel normal. This is why 30 days is so powerful. It is long enough to push through discomfort, long enough to break through the resistance of old habits, long enough to make the new way of living feel natural. Once someone completes 30 days of change, they don't want to go back to their old ways. They have seen the progress. They have felt the difference. They have become someone new. Consider the difference between two people. One who spends the next 30 days doing the same things they've always done, and one who commits to change. The first person will wake up a month from now in the same place, wondering why nothing has improved. The second person will look back and see measurable progress. They will have more energy, more confidence, more momentum. They will have built habits that set them up for long-term success. Anyone can change their life in 30 days. It doesn't take a miracle. It doesn't take luck. It takes a decision. A decision to commit, to push through discomfort, to show up every single day. Once that decision is made, the transformation begins.